though it defies common sense. You see, your faith is strengthened. This text proves us that your faith is strengthened at our place of disappointment. Sometimes our faith is strengthened at our place of disappointment. What am I trying to say? Peter had been out there all night, and Jesus said, go back and do it again. Right. You know, we don't like to be told that we got to go back and do it. I don't. Especially when I know I did it right the first time. I'm saying, you remember, he's a carpenter. I don't like to be told to go back and do it again. But Jesus is telling you that a disciple, the mindset of a disciple is, at thy word, I will. And he went back. And he did it again. Dropping the net. Peter's willingness to do the Lord's will. He has a willingness to do the Lord's will. That's the first point you want to take out. A disciple has a willingness to do the Lord's will. He showed his willingness when he let down his net. That means he dropped his plan. He dropped his plan. There are times in the Bible we can see people drop their plan, and they had to do it again. In Exodus, the 17th chapter, the 6th verse, Moses was told to smote the rock. And he did, after the people murmured, and all was well and good. And then, if we go to Numbers, the 20th chapter, Moses was again told, but this time he was told to speak to the rock. He said, speak to the rock. What did Moses do? He smote the rock. See, God gave him a do-over. Go back and do it again. Now, Moses didn't get to see the promised land, but he was a great prophet next to Jesus. The only prophet great was the Son of God. But he didn't enter into the promised land because he did not do what God said. But God sometimes makes you do a do-over. Yeah. Go back and do it again, he said. Jonah, in the book of Jonah, the first chapter was told to go to Nineveh. Right. And teach Nineveh, tell Nineveh to repent. Right. Jonah didn't go. He got on the boat when the ticket Tarshish. He said, I'm not going to do it, God. He didn't say, nevertheless, at thy will, I'll do it. See, sometimes it takes us, in order to have the disciple mentality, it takes us to be swallowed up by whale. Jonah, in the 3rd chapter of Jonah, he had to do it the second time. It's here in Jonah, the 3rd chapter, verse 1. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah, I'm sorry, that's the first time. And the second time, and the word of the Lord came to Jonah the second time, saying, arise and go into Nineveh, that great city, same thing he said the first time, and preach unto it, preaching that I bid thee, preaching that I tell you what to do, I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went unto Nineveh according to the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was a great city of 3 days' journey. Nineveh was a great city of 3 days' journey, and guess what? Because of his not doing God's word, he stayed in the belly of a whale for 3 days. It's likened to Jesus staying in the grave 3 days, according to Matthew 12 and 39. Not according to my will, but according to thy will. Yes. Who said that? Jesus said that. He said it's not according to my will, but according to thy will. It takes patience to be a fisherman. Yes. It takes patience to be a fisherman. What Jesus was teaching Peter is that according to my will, I will make you a fisher of men. He told Peter, you got to go deeper. See, sometimes he's telling us that we're not going deep enough. We're not dropping our plans. We're not surrendering to his word. Another we see Peter's willingness to do God's will. Not only did he let down his net, but he laid down his net. He not only had to let down his net because they caught a fish. Right. Enough fish that it will cost. It's what's that saying to us? The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. It's saying to us, Brother Lord, Brother Shield, Brother Jenkins, Brother Bill, go out there, go deeper, and put your plans to the side. He said, I can fill up my church. I can fill up my church. I can fill up my church. Is it that? Are you according to, nevertheless, according to thy word? I will. He and his co-workers were astonished in verses 5, 10, 9, and 10. Jesus reassured Peter and called him and his partners to follow him. You see the excitement? The excitement. When you go out and people respond to the word of God. The excitement. They could not believe it. They could not believe it. Have you ever worked so hard and you had your plans about how your life is going to go and how I'm going to do this? And I'm going to save up my money. We'll get to that later, rich ruler. I'm going to save up my money and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do that. But Peter told the people, once they saw the drought, the net, the results of doing God's will, they were willing to lay down their nets and follow him. Have you ever had a life-changing experience like that? Yes. Where God has been so good. That's right. And he's worked out a problem that you thought out was unworkable. Just because you laid down. You laid down your will. You said, not thy will, Lord, but thy will. So it meant leaving behind a successful business and family. But it means sometimes you got to leave your family and business. That's right. Doing God's word is doing God's will. I'm going to say it again. Doing God's word is likened to doing God's will. It's one and the same. James and John left their father in Matthew 4, 21 and 22. Yet they left all and followed him. The Lord called them to even greater service. He made those disciples apostles. He made those who followed him. This is in the beginning of his ministry. But he made those disciples apostles. And if you go back, just a little teaching, when you go back to John, the last chapter of John, we can see the same scenario. You see, Peter had to do a do-over before. I forgot to tell you, Peter had to do a do-over. Peter said, I'll follow you, I'll be with you till the end. He said, Lord, I will never forsake you. Jesus said, Peter, I'm praying for you. He said, the Satan's going to send you like you. He said, but when you convert, go strengthen thy brother. In the book of John, we see Peter. He denied Christ. But in the last chapter of John, Peter is on this same way. It's ironic that the last time after Jesus is death, burial, resurrection, he comes back to visit Peter. Right. Because Peter had to forsook him. And Peter had to do a do-over. And he said, love is loud. More than you know, far from people. Lord, you know I love you. Peter, love is thou me more than thee. Lord, you know. It's inferred when he said, love is thou me more than your occupation. Right. Love is thou me more than these people. Love is thou me when he said, Lord, you know I love you. And Peter, so the same scenario is in Luke, the 4th chapter, the beginning of Peter's ministry, the end ended up the same way. And Peter had to do a do-over. And in this do-over, we see that Peter, the report of Peter is that he spoke the first sermon in Acts the 2nd chapter, his reward. He is great reward through obedience to God as he actually preached the first gospel service in the book